Tesla stock hit a 3-month high on Friday and looks poised to break out further. I will point out the end of the day rally into the close was pretty impressive for Tesla. You actually hit the high of the day about 5 minutes before the markets closed, which is a good sign of likely continued momentum to the upside. But first, before we get into all of your Tesla stock breaking news today, what's going on? Because there's a lot. Quick question. Is it too soon for Christmas sweaters? I mean, I don't know. Let me know. I got a lot of looks today when I wore this thing. Nonetheless, let's get started on your Tesla stock breaking news today. First and foremost, Lars on X, which he is one of the guys that is a senior executive at Tesla, one of the it seems like few that is still a senior executive at Tesla after a lot of recent departures. He says on X, absolutely, the Tesla Semi is coming in mass production shortly, and we made it so compelling, anyone who does not use it will be left behind. Tesla's goal? To make products people love, or in this case, heavy goods transportation companies. My grandfather has been a truck driver for about 30 years now, and the things that I've shown him, the things that he's heard about the semi-truck are favorable. He thinks it's going to be successful. Short sellers lost $3.5 billion yesterday, erasing all of their gains for this year in a single day. But as I reported yesterday, including yesterday's fall, the last 2 days, the last 48 hours, short sellers are down more than $4.1 billion. You actually added another 1% to that, so you could probably call it like $4.5 billion in total short sellers have lost in just the last 48 hours of trading, which is unsustainable. If Tesla stock does break above that 270 level, as I have said before, you're likely to rally pretty quickly to about $300 per share. You have 270, 271 resistance, and then 300. That's it. I mean, after 270, 271, there's really no resistance left. Again, at least until you hit 300. And at that point, if we rally to 300, you're probably going to see shorts getting absolutely squeezed out of their position. I will point out the Tesla stock fell to about 267 in after hours trading. You were down about 0.78%, but the S&P also fell 0.2% in after hours, especially in the last 30 minutes or so of extended hours trading. That's when you've seen a lot of the selling start to come in, and I do have concerns for next week. We will see if Tesla actually catches a bid as the markets fall. We've seen this before. Companies that are, doing well, good earnings, good catalyst, they can actually rally when the markets fall. People kind of crowd into those names that are moving higher, that do have tailwinds that are supporting that rally, which Tesla does have, but that is an unknown. A market sell-off next week, as I'm expecting, could be a big positive for Tesla, or it could be a negative for Tesla. We seen on Friday, Tesla stock actually did very well. As the market sold off, Tesla stock actually rallied throughout the day. So if that trend continues, next week could be another good week for Tesla. Tesla has just added the Cybertruck to their referral program in the United States. Buyers and current Tesla owners who use a referral code can get $1,000 off the purchase price of the truck. And look at that. The Tesla Model Y was Europe's best-selling car overall in September. Tesla Energy on X announces that last week in Q3, they hit a record number of Powerwall installs in the US, which was over 4,500 installs in just the last week. As I reported previously, Jim Cramer says if you can buy Tesla at a discount, I would do it. This is a whole new story in which I agree. This is a whole new story, a new beginning for Tesla that is different from the Tesla that we had before. But if Jim Cramer says to buy a stock, that stock tends to reverse. That's just normally what happens. The inverse Cramer ETF is an actual thing to short stocks Cramer says to buy. So be on the lookout. But right now, I'm not too concerned. Whereas some people are actually concerned that Jim Cramer just, I guess, ruined the rally in Tesla. It is also being reported that last week, Tesla at Fremont built the 1 millionth Model Y. A U.S. appeals court today ruled that the National Labor Relations Board went too far by ordering Elon Musk to delete a 2018 tweet stating employees of Tesla maker would lose stock options if they unionized. Quote, deleting the speech of private citizens on topic of public concern is not a remedy traditionally counter-enhanced by American law. A recent survey from Consumer Reports shows that at least half of all prospective car buyers in the US are interested in test driving a battery EV when shopping for their next car. This was true even for those who are not necessarily looking to purchase an EV in the immediate future. I think a lot of people have not even driven an EV before I got my Tesla. Honestly, I did not drive an EV before at all. I didn't know anyone with an EV. I've never known anyone that has owned an EV. I'd never drove in an EV. Okay. Now, yes, I live in Michigan, so that's probably crazy to hear if you live in California or Texas or perhaps Florida, somewhere else where EVs are more popular. The fact of the matter is, charging is still the biggest problem with mass EV adoption. If you charge at home, that's really your only option. At least if you want good charging, that is. There's no Tesla chargers by me. I've rarely used a Tesla charger in my immediate area. I have to, drive like an hour to a Tesla charger. So very much out of the way inconvenience. And the only other chargers that are around me are like EVgo's and a couple charge points. And those suck relative to Tesla chargers. So that's the biggest problem that we face in certain demographics. I think the amount of people that would want to buy an EV would be like 80+% typically, like if charging was not an issue. And that really speaks to me the amount of growth that Tesla still has ahead. Tesla's going to deliver 2 million vehicles this year, as per Elon Musk, be somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.4 million deliveries next year. Because if you're putting up those kind of numbers and you still have poor charging infrastructure around most of the United States, just imagine what kind of growth Tesla's going to see as charging infrastructure does roll out more. I think that's a long tailwind of growth for Tesla's car business. Now, what's most exciting these days is FSD and energy, and I think that has a lot of room to grow as well. I mean, the scalability of both of those products, FSD and energy products, energy storage products, is basically unlimited. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor bought Tesla on Monday before earnings between $1,000 and $15,000, which she has been buying a fair bit of Tesla in recent months. And take a listen to what T-Man just said about Elon Musk, calling him the greatest guy. And he is so smart that he must be from a different planet.
You can do that. Elon did that. By the way, Elon is great. That guy is such a great guy. I think you're a fan of Elon. Him. He is from a different planet. He's the greatest guy. That rocket coming in. Yeah. I told the story once or twice, so you may have heard it because these speeches have been good. Did you see the one last night?
Yeah.
29,000 people. That was
Yeah.
And the one the night before was the same thing. We are rocking and rolling. But Elon, and I'm talking to this very important guy. I said, wait a minute, I'm looking at something. The television's unmuted, right? And I see this rocket. It's all brown from the heat. It's like 10,000 degrees pouring down at thousands of miles an hour. And I see this thing. It's like a 20-story building.
And it catches
And I say to this guy, who's an important guy, wait a minute. Let me just put you down. Hold it. I got to see this. And I see this, and it's going to crash. I say, it's going to crash into the gantry. They call it a gantry. I said, oh, man, that's going to be a disaster because it's starting to get very close. And then all of a sudden you see the flames in the bottom. and it boom, and then you see the two arms grab it.
Crazy.
And I forgot the guy. I had him on the phone. I forgot. No, I said, the hell with it. No, I called Elon. I said, was that you? He said, that was me. And I said, who else can do that? He said, nobody. Russia can't do it. The United States, nobody can do it. You know, I set up Space Force. That was me. And that's the first time in 82 years that we opened another branch since the Air Force. And that's going to be one of our most important things. But think of what Elon does.
I'm not going to say too much about that because I don't want to get political here on this channel too much. But those were some very strong words, to say the least. And if I'm going to put my trust, my hard-earned dollars into a CEO, I'll be damned if it's not Elon Musk taking a vast majority of that. As of yesterday, Tesla option activity did flip more positive towards the end of the day. In the video that I posted at 4 p.m., I have to start making those videos by about 2 p.m. to get that out at 4 p.m. It takes about 2 hours roughly to film, edit, upload a video. The option activity was about 50%, about neutral. 50% positive, 50% negative, but towards the end of the day, things did get more positive. You had 345 different trades, totaling almost $240 million, with a positive order value of 68%. So people got more bullish on Tesla towards the end of the trading day. And these are specifically hedge fund and institutional option orders. If you were to include retail in this, the positive order value would be a lot higher, probably closer to like 80% or so. With that said, Tesla's short interest of free float jumped to 2.85% following Friday. Now, on Friday, you had almost 7 million shares on net that were sold short. So there was 8.22 million shares that were sold short, and there was 1.23 million shares that were covered. So Tesla's stock continued higher on Friday, over 3%, despite almost 7 million shares being sold short. A lot of selling pressure. I mean, Tesla's volume on Friday was 161 million, but 7 million of which were just shares being sold short, which is crazy to put that into context because that's a lot. That's more shares that we see being shorted on any normal day by a long shot. So short sellers are digging themselves in an even bigger hole if Tesla stock does continue higher. They basically threw all their chips on the table on red or black, and if they're wrong, that's even more fuel to fuel a larger rally for Tesla. Which honestly, what the hell are they thinking? After an earnings like that, after guidance that Elon just gave for next year, with margins improving across the board, you really want to bet against Tesla? That's a crazy bet. With that said, Tesla's dollar amount currently sold short jumped from 15.8 billion to 20.62 billion following the last 48 hours of losses. The amount of shares currently sold short sits at 79.16 million. Sentiment for Tesla on Friday was bearish at 35. Today it is at 33. Not a huge shocker though, considering there was 7 million shares that were sold short, and a lot of people are on the wrong side of the trade for Tesla. Now, on Friday, message volume was extremely high. That's good to see. There's a lot of activity and interest still in Tesla. Even today, you're high at 63. So even though it's a Saturday, congratulations if you're watching this video trying to better your family, better your financial situation. A lot of people do not have dedication like you do. Again, to learn on a weekend is kind of a crazy thought for a lot of people. But you're still sitting at 63. So there's still even a lot of attention over a weekend, which tells you a lot about the strength of a stock and the rally that we could continue to see. Participation ratio today is normal at 54. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup continues to accelerate higher in the United States, with the most recent report showing the Model Y going from 27 to 28, the Model 3 going from 23 to 24, the Model S actually downticked from 11 to 10, and the Model X is staying at 9, but the S and X contribute like 20,000 vehicles a quarter to Tesla deliveries, so really that's not a big deal. The Cybertruck continues to fall from 45 to 42, but it is all relative, right? When you're comparing a very high level of search trend activity, it's hard to keep that momentum up. So you expect to see the Cybertruck fall. It will eventually bottom out and then start to move higher again. If you look over here at this column, over the last 12 months, the Cybertruck is by far the most searched about Tesla product. And something we used to talk about all the time is the Cybertruck halo effect, like the Model Y had on the rest of the Tesla lineup, on the Model 3, right? Specifically the Model 3. It also had an impact to the Model S and X. But the Cybertruck is well outpacing even the Model Y search trend activity by almost double over the past 12 months in the United States. The Cybertruck has really captivated people and still does when they see it. So does a halo effect start in 2025? That's a good question. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Global inventory numbers for Tesla are falling for the Model Y down to about 6,600. The Model 3 is rising to 5,400. The Model X at 4,300 and the Model S at about 2,900. And none of this is concerning or at extreme levels, so all is fine here. On Friday, the percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average fell 3.15%, down about 6% total to 51%. So Friday was not a great day. We also seen that with the RSP. The RSP, which is the equal weight S&P, really took a hit on Friday. At one point, it was positive. It was actually doing pretty good in the first hour or so of the trading day, and then it was all downhill from there. The RSP fell 0.5% in regular trading on Friday, and in after hours trading fell another 0.28%. So yeah, even though the S&P closed barely red, and yes, this was a huge reversal for the S&P as well, that after hours move was pretty nasty also. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in the next video, but when you get a strong start to a day and then a really weak close, that's a warning sign. But more on that to come in the next video. And in the next video, I will discuss Tesla stock throughout the end of this year and my expectations. If I'm buying more here, if I'm just letting my position ride, if I'm looking to book a profit or two, what I am essentially thinking about doing with my position. With that said, let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.